actually is the Underdark? You'll see it in Baldur's Gate 3, in the D&D movie. It is such a big part of D&D and its lore, but what actually is it? Is it just a cavern? Is it just a spooky IKEA that doesn't serve Swedish meatballs, but everybody wants to kill you? What is it? The Underdark is a huge network of caves, tunnels, and passageways that lie underneath all of Faerun. That place right there. It's filled with a practically infinite number of races and creatures, many of which are very anti-surface dweller, just so you know, in case you're ever down there. And there are no direct routes. There's no highways, no express lanes, none of that, okay? The terrain is uneven and difficult. Definitely don't want to be wearing, you know, your 6-inch heels down there. It's going to be a little inconvenient. Bring a pair of flats. There's very little access to food or water. And it's the ultimate test of survival down here. The caves in the Underdark can also house deep bodies of water. There's even areas where fungus, bone, or just like pure force can form a cavern. We love a multi-talented queen. Look at her variety, her range. Landscapes are constantly changing. Tunnels can collapse, lakes dry up, and earthquakes and volcanoes do their thing, which can quickly make maps of the Underdark be out of date. That's a whole other issue down here, is navigating. Google Maps has not updated for this area. It's just an endless and ever-changing maze of tunnels that can lead you to all sorts of fun, like those monsters, which we'll get into. The tight space and lack of light alone is enough to make your average surface dweller be like, no thank you, I appreciate the invite, but I'm good. The landscape was shaped and carved by purple worms eating through the Underdark and making their own tunnels. Maybe purple worms are misunderstood civil engineers. Have you thought about that? Much like actual caverns, the landscape was shaped by the elements. So flowing or dripping water, volcanoes, earthquakes, or rather Terrailquakes. Terrailcakes, you say? This is not a sponsorship. I really want to support the awesome job that the Forgotten Realms wiki team has put together in partnership with like Ed Greenwood. They've made a Forgotten Realms cookbook. Incredible. Lorekeeper of the Year award. I bought the PDF, and if they get to a certain amount of sales, they can work on making a physical copy of the book, which, if you can't tell, I love to collect Forgotten Realms books, so definitely check out the cookbook if you have a chance, and let me know if you make anything from it. I'd love to see your concoctions, your creations, your burnt toast. I'd love to see it all. Definitely go support. Again, this is not sponsored. I just want to support other Realms lore nerds like us. Check it out in the link in the description box. What differs in the Underdark's creation from just like your average cave, your average subterranean hellscape, right? What differs is that magic was involved. Dark high magic is what helped create the Underdark, which is pretty tied to like the descent or exile of the Dark Elves from the Elven Pantheon. If you want to learn more about that, definitely go watch my Lolthor video. You'll get all the tea there. Anyway, this dark high magic would end up leaving a magical radiation called Faerzress. Faerzress is randomly scattered throughout the Underdark and can cause magic to be a little wonky, a little different. It can distort and interfere with magic. Fun fact, by the way, the original meaning of the word Faerzress, a drow word, means dominating magic. More tea. If you watch that little video, you know the tea. If you haven't yet, go watch it, but I'll give you a little spoiler. Basically, the Dark Elves were banished to the Underdark to go chill with Lolth. And that's why the Drow have so much like hatred and resentment for the Surface Elves. They were like exiled. And they're like, you know what? We don't like you guys anyway. We never want to be there. Praise Lolth. Endless tunnels and mazes aside, the Underdark was kind enough to put together a map of its depths, basically. It's split into 3 parts, the Upper Dark, Middle Dark, and Lower Dark. They made it really easy so peasants like us could understand. Thank you so much, Underdark. I appreciate the directness here, okay? Like, if I'm struggling with where in the Underdark I could possibly be, that at least gives me some idea. Like, I'm happy with that information. The Upper Dark is about 3 miles below the surface. This is the first part of the Underdark that you'll typically enter through, which getting into the Underdark can be a little complicated sometimes. You need kind of the hookup. You kind of need to know where to look, where the entrances are, It's not like the subway where you can just go down and like, hey, I'm going to the Underdark. You need to know someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows the code to get in. Or you just accidentally stumble upon it. This is where a lot of trade gets conducted because it's the closest to the surface. This is where things are happening. And you'll start to see some of the civilizations of the Underdark, Dwergar, Deep Gnomes. Water and food are relatively accessible here. They're not huge problems yet. And here in the Upper Dark, if you remember from our Mr. Lore video, the spell plague was a period in time where Mr. died and like magic went all wonky. Basically, that also went down into the Underdark too. So here in the Upper Dark, the closest to the surface, you can find caverns and caves where magic is going crazy. It's going bonkers. There's streams flowing through the air. There's water falling upward. And there's earth motes flying around like goldfish. Like your typical Flirty Tuesday. It's giving that one scene from Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory where he's like on the rowboat. You know what I'm talking about? That like really unsettling scene. My favorite. Now as we go deeper, between 3 and 10 miles, we reach the Middle Dark. This is where things get a little more serious. Also where the racism and hostility towards the surface dwellers goes like way up. Like the deeper you go, the higher the racism and xenophobia. Water and food are officially hard to find. And you'll also be able to find some of the larger drow and gnome cities here. Once we start going more than 10 miles below the surface, that is the Lower Dark. This is where you'll find the alien societies where everybody doesn't like you. This is where the mind flayers, the Owlists, and you ain't gonna find food and water here, that is for sure. So I hope you packed plenty. Some granola bars, some Pop-Tarts in your bag, because you're gonna need it. Drow actually don't even really come down to the Lower Dark. Too much of a hassle, it's not worth it. So they're just like, well, you know what, mid and upper, we got it. We're cool here. The mind flayers can have the lower. That's all them, baby. The Lower Dark is also where Fairs rests, the magical radiation that we talked about. This is where it's most powerful. It's at like its full power here. Princess, my Fairs is at my highest potential here in the Lower Dark. XOXO, XXX, Shadowlord, 420, XXX. Have y'all played Date Everything? It's so much fun. My loves so far have been, get this, Chance, Shadowlord 420, and Friar Errol. I know, I'm a glutton for punishment and sorrow. But Liam O'Brien and the religious trauma, I'm just like, I'm right there with you, babe. Who's your favorite inanimate object to date? Let me know in the comments. And of course, through all of these layers, you're gonna find dungeons. You know, that first part of Dungeons and Dragons, you're gonna find a lot of them. A dungeon is technically classified as any structure created by intelligent beings. So you'll come across a lot of that in the Underdark. And guess what? You're probably gonna find some creatures in there. So be prepared. Like any top vacation destination, there's bodies of waters in the Underdark. So pack your swimsuits, don't pack your sunscreen. That's gonna be a waste of space. Make sure to pack food and supplies and your swimsuit. But anyway, there's actually a lot of water in the Underdark. The oceans connect to the Underdark. There are lakes. The most notable one being the Dark Lake, which is a huge lake in a huge ginormous cavern that spans over 100 miles across. It's mainly used by the Dwergar to get between their cities, but it's there. It's a huge one. It apparently can take more than like 2 days by boat to traverse. That's like a weekend cruise, honey. That's not like a river day trip. That is a weekend cruise with a cruise director, at least 6 meals, and 2 nights at sea. So that's a whole vacation right there. But like instead of sailing on the open sea, you're like in a dark cavern and there's like stalactites and stalagmites, and apparently the ceiling can like range from like really, really low to very, very high. It's a toss-up, you know. Just stick with the Dwergar captain. He's the one hosting bingo tonight. Just stick with him. Now, speaking of packing for a trip, supplies and resources are limited in the Underdark. There are no Walmarts, no 7-Elevens. You can't Amazon Prime anything. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll find a bodega in one of the cities. Whether or not the bodega cat is a displacer beast is not my problem, okay? Now, a quick guide to the civilizations and races that you'll come across in the Underdark. There are a ton, but here are the major players. You've got your Drow. These are the iconic dark elves that mainly serve to worship Lol. They're known to be real cruel, and they spend all their time dedicating their lives to the Demon Queen of the Abyss, Lolth. What a charming one she is. You've got the Duergar. These are the Underdark counterparts of dwarves. They're known for being pretty grumpy, pretty tyrannical, pretty industrious, same as those surface dwarves. Both the Drow and the Duergar see their surface counterparts as enemy number one. They are convinced that they are the reason that they're stuck down there, but also they would never want to leave to go to the surface because that sucks. Definitely a sibling rivalry between these giant groups of people. Next up, you've got your Svirfneblin, your Smurfs. No, just kidding. But also basically, these Svirfneblin are the deep gnomes of the Underdark. These are gnomes that live in the Underdark. They're just trying to make it work. They're very cautious and wary of outsiders. For good reason. They live in the Underdark. There's not much more to it than that. They have good reason. I don't blame them. You also have your Mind Flayers. You know them. You love them. You have loved them in Baldur's Gate 3. I know you did. I know you got that achievement on Steam. I did too, don't worry. These are our octopus guys with psionic abilities. Evil, not to be trusted. You'll also find Darrow down here, which are these small, tiny dwarves. Rumor has it that they were long held by Mind Flayers, which is why they're now known for their erratic, crazy, dare I say, attitude. They're known to have a screw loose, basically. They're strange and sadistic, and I want to befriend one. Next up, we've got Myconids, mushroom people, fungi folk. These fun guys. I'm so sorry. These fungus folk. Need I say more? They're mushroom people, period. End of story. They're known for being peaceful and living in the moment. They also structure themselves in circles of other Myconids. They're so fun. I actually, if you haven't heard of Daggerheart yet, I was looking through the classes the other day, and there are mushroom folk. They're fun grill. That's me. Fun girl. Fun grill. By the way, the Daggerheart core book, the ancestry pages are my favorite. They have all this sketchy style illustration with little field notes about each race. It just feels really fun and just captures, it scratches that fantastical itch for me. You've got sketches with little notes in the margins. I'm there.
Now, a quick guide to the monsters you'll fight down here. This is the most recent monster manual. Yes, it is the alternate cover. If there's an alternate cover, you bet your soggy bottom that I'm gonna buy it. The original just clashes with my aesthetic. You understand. I literally ran out of my pink stickies and had to use my yellow ones. That's how many Underdark monsters there are in here.
There is a lot. I mean, even the cover. Look at the sky. Look at the sky. They've got everything down here, okay? You want a beholder? They got a beholder. You want a giant cockroach? They got a giant cockroach. You want a Kuo-toa? Honey, they got 10,000 Kuo-toa down here. Most iconic of which are beholders. Beholders live in the Underdark. You probably know them already, but they are the big monsters with the one big eye, and they've got lots of little tentacles with other eyes on them. They're tyrants. They're terrible. Do not trust. Do not trust. You see one? No. Go home. Block, report, flag, whatever you gotta do. They also have tons of different beholderkin, so there's different types and variants. The beholderkin tend to not be as xenophobic and you're not a beholder, you are the scum of the earth type attitude. So just know that there are variations. Beholders reside deep within the Underdark. One way to know if you're near one, their layers have this energy where you can feel that you're being watched. The vibes are off, the location services are pinging, the Find My alert is going off. If you feel that eerie, creepy vibe, you're probably near a beholder. They can also warp reality near the layer, so just if things are off, block, report, delete, unfriend. You've also got Behirs. These are reptilian monsters that spew out lightning. Very dangerous. They're many-legged lizards. It's just they've got too many legs for what they need to accomplish. His greed sickens me. We also have aboleths in the Underdark. These are ageless alien masterminds. Their secrets are innumerable and unfathomable, which would probably make them great for a good gossip session, a good tea spilling session. You've also got Grimlocks in the Underdark, which are essentially puppets of Mind Flayers. These are like mind flare experiments on humanoids. Now they capture them, they do a little experimentation, but instead of like, okay, cool, you're a mind flare now, they're like, no, you're actually gonna be this like horrible flesh golem of a human that only seeks to serve me. So I hope you're happy. You got your hook horrors. These guys have beaks and claws. They're very fast, very dangerous. They love to munch on plants, fungi, and passerby. You've got your little guys, those little brain dogs. And we've got purple worms. These are just like the worms in Dune. Like we talked about earlier, they've carved a lot of the tunnels in the Underdark. Some of the cities in the Underdark, like Dorgar, Noish, Drow cities, have wards to protect from purple worms. But if you're just like raw dog in the Underdark, you be careful, okay? Because they just come out of the ground like if they're passing by, you're probably gonna get knocked over. Be prepared. Don't say I didn't tell you nothing. There's also Quagoths. I don't know how to describe Quagoths other than like they're like an Underdark Yeti. They're beastly hunters and viciously attack anything they can get their claws on. Zorn are these treasure-devouring gluttons. They're from the elemental plane of Earth. You'll find a lot of elemental creatures down in the Underdark because a lot of the abysses in the Underdark tend to have gateways to other planes, such as the elemental planes, the Shadowfell, the Abyss itself, and the Nine Hells. So a lot of the stuff that you can find on those planes sometimes makes its way down into the Underdark. Oh, and then lastly, what's our last one? We have one more. Also, tons of ghosts and spooky spirits, zombies and the like down in the Underdark. Content warning if you have a fear of bugs. Umber Hulks are like these giant cockroach-looking things. They burrow down in the Underdark and they like crush things with their mandibles, and they're like lots of things that eat you down here. I'm telling you, there's no fast food, no McDonald's, okay? Everybody's looking for a snack. My favorite. Kuatoa, aka Gogglers, aka Menfish. Yes, you heard that right, Menfish. They're your mentally unstable, like, fish besties that worship false gods and exist only in groupthink. They look like they have no thoughts because they don't, and I love them. H-I-J-K. Yeah, they get 2 pages in the monster manual. That's right. That's right. Look at these little guys. They've got like slimy humanoid bodies, but then like a big old fish head. It's great. It's awesome. Now, what makes the Underdark scary? We've got all these monsters. We've got these civilizations that hate us. But like, let's talk about the horror behind it, can't we? Do you have a few minutes to talk about our Lord and Savior, the horrors of the Underdark? The Underdark uses so many different kinds of horror to achieve this like pretty unforgettable vibe that it has. I really think that Baldur's Gate 3 did an awesome job of capturing the feeling of the Underdark, where you feel like you're constantly being watched. You're not sure what you're going to encounter in this darkness, and you don't remember how you came in or how to get out. It's just this never-ending, dark, mushroom-filled labyrinth.
And I'm so here for it. One of the biggest pieces of what makes the Underdark scary is the sheer uncertainty of it all. You never know what's coming next, what's going to be right around this cavern, this tunnel. You quite literally don't know if you're going to find a light at the end of the tunnel. That's the fun of it. Evil, sadistic fun, but fun. This uncertainty not only comes from like your environment, but also the creatures that you'll come across. You don't know what's hiding within the cavern because A, you literally can't see it, and B, it's so large and expansive that there's so many options to pull from. Survival skills are more important than ever in the Underdark. That's scary. Basically, I don't know if you've gone on like a big hiking trip, but hiking in broad daylight is terrifying. The Underdark is that times 1,000, where you have to prepare for the absolute worst. You can only bring a limited amount of food and water and supplies, and you don't know where your path ends. How are you going to get food? How are you going to get water? That leads you to confronting the civilizations of the Underdark. Blatant, strong racism and xenophobia, with like a heavy dollop of fascism coming right at you as soon as you enter like a Drow or Duergar city. Isolation is in full bloom down here. You don't know when you're going to find a friendly face. If there are any friendly faces, it's just you and your adventuring party. It's a very isolating spot to be in. The threats down here are beyond comprehension at times, and they're not like your regular gnolls, your average goblins that you're fighting, you know. They are alien monstrosities that know horrors beyond our comprehension. We get environmental, isolation, cosmic horror, all of that just from the Underdark. There's just so many different kinds of fear-inducing elements that come into play in the Underdark. It just makes this delicious recipe. It's just like a layered cake of horror. For character and roleplay ideas, of course you can go with the Drow, Dwergar, Deepnos, etc. If you choose another race, it'd be interesting to hear how your character ended in the Underdark. Some prompts that I think would help deepen your character development and understanding the motivations behind your character are, how does your character feel about the Underdark? Do they like it? Do they hate it? Were they brought here against their will? Were they born here? How do they feel about their society that they've grown up in? For example, if they're a Drow, do they agree with Drow society and its tenets, or do they disagree and want to burn it all down? Assuming your adventuring party meets outside of the Underdark, what drove them out of the Underdark? How did they make it out? Was it part of some sort of job or duty? Was it of their own choice, their own volition? Who helped them and why? Maybe it was an accident. Maybe they were left behind. What are your characters' thoughts of surface dwellers? Have they any experience with other races or civilizations? And how familiar are they with other parts of the Underdark? Do they travel through the tunnels or lakes of the Underdark often? I put together a reading list if you want to learn more about the Underdark, and some of the sources that I pulled for research for this video in the description box below. If you made it to this part of the video, we're BFFs now. Be sure that you have notifications turned on so that you never miss a video of juicy lore. And if you want to spend some more time in the Underdark, definitely watch my video on Menzoberranzan. Thank y'all so much. Ciao, mi amor.